What's good, everybody? I'm just making a video here to share just a little bit of love and a little bit of thoughts that I have on my mind. I really don't know if this video will get any response, if anybody will like the video, if anybody will even agree with the video. But I think these are just some really important things that have helped me, just a random guy that 99.99% of you don't even know. And it's helped me just to, I feel, enjoy my life to a great extent. And so I'd just like to share it with everybody. And maybe you agree with it, maybe you disagree. If you disagree, you could comment below. The video may be kind of long, so if you don't have time for that, don't watch the video. This is just for anybody who just wants to kind of hear a new perspective on life, feels like they have the time, and hey, it might help you. And like I said, if you disagree with it, just post in the comments. And yeah, like it will be interesting to see. Maybe my perspective might be a little off, and maybe you can help me to look at life a little bit differently. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, which of course there's things I'm missing, but maybe there's something specific to what I talk about that I'm missing. So I'll hop right into it so the video is not way too long. So first of all, just a big thing I want to talk about is just self-worth. So I see a lot of times in society, people, we kind of put our value into maybe our jobs, like how much money we're making, our status amongst other people. If you're a guy, maybe you put your worth into your ability with women. As a woman, you might put your worth into if you have a husband or not, your history in relationships. Maybe if you've been cheated on, you feel less worthy. I've met a few people who have had traumatizing things happen to them. Maybe they lost a child, maybe they lost a family member, maybe the goal they set for themselves, they just didn't reach it. There's so many different paths to make you feel like you don't have worth. And I just kind of want to talk about that and how I look at it. And to me, self-worth is something that was given to you as soon as you were born. And I'll explain why. Now, some people may be religious, they may believe in God, some people may not be, but either way, I feel like this still implies. And basically what it means is that once you're, like in a society, let's say there's people that are born to a lower economic, in a lower economic class, and then they grow up, and people will fight for these people and say, well, yeah, they didn't have the resources, they weren't raised in the same environments, they didn't have the same opportunities as people that were raised in a richer economic climate, and so you can't expect the same from them. You can't. That's the reason why they have a higher crime rate. That's the reason why there's more people from lower economic backgrounds in prison. Examples like that. Well, I feel the same thing happens when you're born. Basically, we're all born into different families, into different households. Some people are born into maybe a sports household where hockey is a huge sport, or you're born into a society where like you go to a school and your parents send you like an art school, and all these things from the time we're like little kids, babies. Like if you just look at a baby, I know this kind of sounds a little silly, but it's so true. Like if you look at a baby, it's like they know nothing. Like literally so many things are just being taught to them, and so many things of who we become as people, we have so little control over. And like as a baby, you never really see a baby and say they're not worthy, they don't have value. All babies are pretty much valuable. Why? Because society hasn't given them some type of job or given them some kind of label as to what kind of person they are. When we create these labels, basically to help us organize our society, like you're a doctor, you should make this much, this is how much value we think you're giving to society. So there's a reason why the labels are there, but that doesn't make the labels just 100% correct. Because, like I said, I think we'd all agree if you're born into a house where you have two parents that are doctors and they put a lot of love and nourishment in you, there's a higher chance that you probably will become a doctor compared to somebody who maybe has their parents abandon them and they're put into the foster care system. Like those chances of those two beings, what they're going to become in life, who like, now there's no 100%, there's no, this is definite, there's no definites, but there's there's a higher percentage chance, like you can just naturally see that if the kid who had the doctor parents became a doctor compared to the kid who was a foster parent, like it would be a little more shocking. And so that applies for all of us. Like Even the people who have the most blessings, like nobody does it on their own. Literally, nobody was born as a baby and just grew up and was like, I'm taking the world over. From the age of 1 year old, I just know what I'm doing. We were all taught. We all needed help from resources, and we all had different resources. Um, and a good example I feel like that applies to this also is like, for example, a big person in my life is Kobe Bryant. I love basketball. My dad, he played professional baseball when I grew up. He wasn't around that much, but I just had an athletic background. And I really just took to the game of basketball. I had success with it at an early age. I ended up playing in college a little bit. And so, like, Kobe Bryant is just a huge, like, he's an idol for me. Like, I don't know about everything with him off the court, but on the court, like, Kobe Bryant, that's my dude. Now, my grandma, she gives less than a fuck about Kobe Bryant. To me, Kobe Bryant, huge value. You know, Kobe Bryant goes to, like, a international, gets off an airplane, everybody just loves this guy. They're just like, Kobe, oh my God. If my grandma saw Kobe, she probably would just walk right by him. Why? Because the value that he so apparently has was never taught to her. It doesn't apply for her. So you see, like, our self-worth, the worth we put on other people, is all just kind of created in our mind. And there's no real set standard for it. And I really just feel like the truth of that is because we are all born with a value given to us at birth. The fact that we have life, that we are alive, that we are living beings, is where our value comes from. Now, that doesn't mean we should work hard. You should go get your career. That's not an excuse to now not go out in society and be and to add more value, if that's the way you want to look at it. But to say your self-value is based on this, this, and this is just stupid. And I think, that's a lot of times why people they receive money, they get wealth, they still may feel a little empty inside, because the value, the acclaim they want to feel inside of themselves, it's like you're trying to find it from these outside sources, but it's not true. Like, your value's inside. If you get cheated on in a relationship, you feel like you're so shitty, like you have no value. But if you've ever been a friend of somebody who got cheated on, you would always say, like, it was about the cheater, not about you. Like, he cheated on you, like it was about him. Or she cheated on you, it was about her. She had things that she was going through that she couldn't be honest in the relationship. And that makes sense until you're in it. And your value feels like it's at stake. But, like, if that person hadn't cheated on you, now your value's different. It really doesn't make any sense. And the only way I can really see it clearly, and I think it actually makes life a lot easier, is when you just realize your value is already given to you from the very beginning. And so you walk out the door and you're the shit already. And everything else is just like extra credit, I guess. But you already got 100%. So that was the first thing. The second thing is it kind of falls into the same category. And actually, this video may be a little shorter than I thought. It's still pretty long though. But yeah. So the way I kind of look at it is everything's kind of like a domino effect. So, like, the way you're raised, for example, like I was talking about, is a domino. So you're raised in this kind of background, and you have this kind of teacher who inspires you. You make this type of friend at an early age, and your friend likes Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and now you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, like blah blah blah. All these things are just constant dominoes. And because they're constant dominoes, sorry, I'm screaming out for a little bit. Because they're constant dominoes, like, you're constantly being you're constantly being brought into the person you're going to become. You're constantly molding into the person that you are going to eventually become, and you're still becoming all the way until you die. Like, the rest of the world is always impacting you. And so I think a big thing to realize is that you, like everybody else, you're a domino piece. And the way that you go out into the world, you impact the world too. And so, sorry, 1 second. And so to realize that there is no, again with the value, there is no one domino piece that is more than the other domino piece. Because like I just said, we all have equal value because we came with this value from birth. So example, Kobe Bryant doesn't mean anything to my grandma. His value is only what we perceive it to be. And so there's so much more value that we actually have than we realize. And I'll give this example. When you, like, let's say you go out into the world and you just have a really bad attitude. You've had a bad day. Maybe you just found out some bad news. You got fired, and you go into a store, like a grocery store, and you're just super rude to that clerk. Like, you are literally passing on an energy that is impacting the clerk or impacting the people that are around you. And that value is just as big as maybe somebody who is seen as huge in society, as like a senator or a governor, all these people. Like, you are bringing so much huge value everywhere you go, and you are making so many huge impacts. Like, you fucking, like, the world is just constant energy just hitting each other. Like, let's say you cut somebody off in a car, they get mad, and now they go cut somebody off, but now they get in a car accident. Like, I'm not saying you killed somebody, don't take it, like that. I'm just saying you had an impact on them. Like, you impacted their day. You didn't even realize it. You're just driving. You didn't even mean to cut them off. But everywhere we go throughout life, we're constantly just impacting other people. You say something to somebody, you kind of change their mood a little bit, you mess their energy up, and now their energy is different going into somewhere else. Maybe you walk into a room and you just bring amazing energy, you just bring so much love and passion, and people feel that. You make the room better. Now everybody in the room is operating a little bit at a higher feeling. And so, like I said, I played basketball growing up, and one thing that we always looked at was, what is the team doing? So let's say, like, one guy gets 1 rebound for the whole game, and then another guy gets 8, another guy gets 10. Well, what the team got was, I don't want to get this wrong, 19 rebounds, okay? And so that's what mattered, was the number was the 19. Even though that guy that got 1 rebound, of course there's like, it's almost like 2 sections. Like, yes, he could still work on his game. As people, we could still work to be better. We could still work to have more, what makes maybe like it's seen as more valuable in society. We can still have huge goals. We want to become a doctor, we want to become a lawyer, we want to make more money. That's all good. That's a second category. Like I said, that's the extra credit. At the end of the day, that guy's 1 rebound was really just a part of the 19. We don't get the 19 without his 1. So he still was a huge part of why we won that game. I've been a star on a basketball team, and I've been on the bench of basketball teams. And I'm telling you from experience, like, you on the bench, the energy you bring just from being on the bench, you don't seem like you're a contributor at all. You don't get any credit. You're a huge part of why there's success. If you've ever been a part of a play or a drama performance, the people behind the scenes, the dude that pulls the ropes, like, it all adds up into one just big performance, into one just huge result. And that's what I see the world. We have this one huge world, and that's the result of everybody on it. Now, you may not feel like you're making impact, or you may feel like you are, but either way, you are making an impact. This is like a crazy hypothetical example, but let's say there's huge leaders like Martin Luther King, or who else? Anybody, like a Benjamin Franklin. Like, these people that we give so much acclaim to, like Benjamin Franklin, huge. Like, on my $100 bills, like, literally, there's people that impacted Benjamin Franklin to be the person that he became. Martin Luther King had people that impacted the person he became. He wouldn't have been Martin Luther King without the impacts. Anybody, like whenever somebody makes it, they always say, thank you to this person, thank you to this person, thank you to this person. Moms, dads, all the time, they raise these people up. These famous people that we give all this credit to wouldn't have been that person without assistance. So really, who has the value? Is it just the person that created the product? Or is it the person that led them to create the product? You became a lawyer, but you had a teacher that inspired you, and you wouldn't be that lawyer without that teacher's help, without have gotten that internship from your dad's friend, whatever. Like, do you really get all the credit just for being a lawyer? Do you deserve all that success to yourself? No, it's all just like different values coming together to make one. And I think that's the thing we need to focus on, is just that one. And so I guess I'll just end things by saying that I think one thing just to realize that will like make life so much easier is to realize, first of all, that you have huge worth because you were given it at birth. Second of all, we're all equal parts for the big one, the huge result of what the world is. And we all play an impact in that. And we carry that energy everywhere we go. We are impacting the world around us. And so, since we know that people were raised from different backgrounds, and that led to us being the people we became, sorry, I want to make sure I get this right. This is the ending. Basically, I just hope that this gives some people that watch it, if anybody watches it, the ability to walk into the world with a little bit more of a positive mindset, just a more of a positive flow. It doesn't even mean you have to do anything in your life different. You go out tomorrow and you live the same life you live tomorrow that you live today. But I feel like if you carry this message with you, it will make it just that it's a little bit more positive. And just because it is a little bit more positive, because you're a little more half glass full than half empty, you're attacking the world differently and you're bringing more value to the world. And so I'll conclude it by saying this. One, we all have that God's worth. We're all worthy, equally worthy. So you are the shit when you go out into the world. Number two, everybody around you is products of what they were risen by. Now that doesn't excuse them if they do bad things in the world. If somebody kills somebody, they should go to jail. We can't excuse bad behavior in our society just because people were raised to become the people they became. At the same time, like the two category things, just because the person deserves to go to jail, it doesn't mean they don't deserve sympathy. You can be sympathetic and still punish somebody. A child, for instance. A child, they act up, they go on timeout. They act up, they get something taken away. You have to teach them that they can't do wrong. At the same time, you can still be sympathetic, empathetic to the child and understand they just didn't know any better. If people knew better, they would do better. And so now that you know you're going into the world and you know you have this amazing worth, if you can just start looking at everybody and realize that they're just products of of what raised them. They're just products of the environment that made them the man and woman they are. You can love them a little bit more. Now that may mean you don't want to be around them. Some people annoy you. Some people you feel like aren't healthy for your life. And I'm not saying just accept everybody, like, oh, be my friend even though you're dangerous to me. No, you keep your distance from them. But you can keep your distance from them and at the same time know, wow, like I still have so much love for this person. I wish them the best because I know that they have the same worth that I have. And I just know that the bad decisions they're making or the person that they have become that is rubbing me the wrong way is not 100% on them. It's also part of the environment that shaped them to be the person they were. And so you can be a little bit more loving to other people. And then the last thing, the third thing, so you know your worth when you walk out, what's given to you at birth. 2, you know why you should love everyone around you. Even if you don't accept them, you can still love them and wish the best for them. And the third thing is just know that your domino piece is important. What if nobody, nobody wants, a lot of people say I don't want to be a garbage man, but what if nobody was a garbage man? We need that in society. Like everything in society has to happen. If everybody thought like me, then we wouldn't have any teachers. I'm damn sure ain't gonna be no professor at college. We wouldn't have any professors in college. We wouldn't have any senators. I'm damn sure not gonna be a senator. Like everybody is different because we were raised differently. Some people enjoy to be more outgoing. Some people enjoy to be more introvert. Some people enjoy sports. Some people enjoy just chilling, doing their own thing, watching TV, graphics, writing novels, etc., etc., etc. And we need that because that is what makes our society well-rounded. But with that said, we're all still equal because we're all just going into the one. And it's impossible to say, like, you are this big portion of what the one is, the world, how the world is shaped. You're this important to the one, and you're only this important to the one. And we do that all the time. You really have no idea what impact you're really making. Because like I said, you could have a kid, and that kid becomes like a national hero, becomes Tom Brady. If you don't know who Tom Brady is, Google him. But like your kid becomes Barack Obama. Your kid becomes President of the United States. Like you don't know what your kid's going to become, or you can meet somebody and you can inspire them. You can tell them a story and your story can inspire them. You could just say, hey man, have a good day today. And they could be like, wow, when that person told me have a good day, it really just made me feel good. I'm going to tell somebody else to have a good day. And that impacted more people. So you have no idea what your true value is, and to the one, you have no idea what it is. I don't know mine, you don't know yours. So just to realize, the only thing you really need to do is just realize you have that value. And so you can either be two people in this world in my eyes. You can either be a domino piece that's impacting the world around it and not realize you're a domino piece and go through the world not really feeling like you have an impact, like you're important, and just kind of live your life just kind of like just a part of the world. You're just in it. You don't really know why you're in it, but you're just in it. And hey, I don't judge anybody, so who knows? Or 2, which is the one I choose, which feels better for me. You could live life knowing you are that domino piece and knowing you do impact the world around you, and saying, how can I try to make this one that we all contribute to how can I make it a little greater? Because at the end of the day, 100 years from now, we're all gonna be gone. Unless they come up with some new technology, everybody on the earth today, every single person, all the billions, are gonna be gone tomorrow. And so, what's our worth if it's not to just make the one greater for the future, and for the next generation, and just to make it an overall better one? We are so important. We contribute. You are important. And I feel like the video went pretty well. This is all in one take. This is very genuine, just straight off the bat. It's 20 minutes long, so if you watch the whole thing, I appreciate you. If you disagree, if you hate me, if you think my hairline is fucked up, anything, just put in the comments below. This is my first ever like real YouTube video that I've made. I'm gonna start another channel where I do more videos like this that are a little more edited and organized, and I'll probably put that in the description once that channel's ready, because I don't want to talk about it and it's not there. So yeah, but the last thing I'm gonna say, which kind of sounds corny, there's a video. It's called VeggieTales. It's called Madame Blueberry, and there was this girl I was dating, and she was going through it, and about her worth, she didn't feel worthy. She had a lot of unfair things happen to her growing up, and I had her watch the video as a joke. Honestly, as a joke, I didn't think it was going to be impactful, and it's a video literally for kids. But the video, as far as like the self-worth part, like where your worth comes from, it was just like the video in that moment did a great job of like expressing that, like where your worth comes from and why everybody is worthy. And so if you ever just have a goofy mood, just go watch it. Hey, you never know. It helped that night. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Also, VeggieTales is like a Christian-based kind of movie. I don't put any connotations on people's religion, so if that rubs you the wrong way, I'm sorry that I even brought it up. So yeah, thank you for your time, and I hope this helped at least one person in a positive impact. Have a good night, y'all.